Hi, Sammy here. Welcome to lesson 2 in our series. Today, we're going to be looking at entering data in a cell. Entering data in a cell. Now, an Excel cell can contain one of the three following data types. An Excel cell can contain one of the three following data types. One could either be a number, or it could be a text, and then an Excel cell can also contain formulas, numbers, text entries, and then formulas. Let's look at it one by one, beginning with number. Now, what do we mean when we say numbers in Excel? A number is any numeric value that represents quantity or a number with some decimals. Okay? Any numeric value that represents a quantity or a number with some decimals. So, for example, I have my 1000 here. Now, if the number contains a currency figure, you should not type in the currency symbol yourself. Take note, if the number contains a currency symbol, you should not type the currency symbol yourself. So what we do, I type my 1000 naturally, and then I come to my home tab, in the numbers group. I have some currency and number formats there. So, for example, say I want to input $1,000. Now, I can come here. If there's other currency symbols, I can come down here and select if I want dollars or pounds or euros or other formats. If you click more accounting formats, you can actually go and search for other currency symbols available. So, what I do if I want to input $1,000, do that. That is $1,000. So that is that. Now also, if the number is greater than 999, that is if it's 1,000 or more, we don't type in the 1,000 separators yourself. What that means, that comma you saw here, you don't type it in manually. Once you type it in manually, Excel doesn't recognize the value in that cell to be a number anymore. So what we do, we type it in just like that, and then I come to my number group and the home tab. Also I have my comma style here. That's what we use to actually input the 1,000 separators. So I do that like so. Then my 1,000 separator is there. So take note, you don't type it in manually. Now, all numeric values in Excel will align to the right in its cell. All numeric values by default align to the right in their respective cells. Now, numeric values can also include date or time entries because Excel stores them as a number. So, for example, January 1st, 1900 is day 1. So this is day 1 according to the calendar, and February 2nd, 1900 is day 32. As for times of the day, they are stored as a decimal of a day. Times are stored as a decimal of a day. So for instance, 6 a.m. is equal to 0.25. That's a quarter of a day. It's already gone. Yes. So quarter of a day. And 12 p.m. is also regarded as 0.50. That's half a day. It's gone already. So that's how numbers are being recognized in Excel. Moving on to the second data type, let's look at text. Now, what is text? Let's take note here now. Text entry is any alphanumeric entry. Now, what do we mean by that? As soon as there is a non-numeric character, it becomes a text entry. As soon as there's a non-numeric character in that cell, automatically Excel regards it as a text entry. What do we mean by that? So, for example, I have Sam here as text entry. Now look at this one now, just below. I have 8774-89. Yes, it's populated by numbers, but that dash here renders it text entry. So, like we said earlier on, as soon as there's a non-numeric character in that cell, Excel recognizes the value in that cell or the entry in that cell to be a text entry. Now note that all text values in Excel will align to the left in its cell. Numbers by default align to the right. I have this 1000. Text by default align to the left in their respective cells. So that is so. Now, here's a little trick. If you want all numeric digit entry to be treated as a text, precede the entry by an apostrophe or single quote. For example, if I have this figure here, now if I type 006789, once I move out of that cell, you see that Excel automatically discards the insignificant numbers preceding the significant numbers. Now, in a situation whereby, let's assume I don't want to use this for calculations, I just wanted to retain those preceding zeros. So what I do now, in essence, is I type my apostrophe first, then I put my 006789. So that forces, let's use that term, that forces Excel to retain the preceding zeros. That is it. So that's how we go about that. Putting that apostrophe forces Excel to retain those preceding zeros. Now, the next thing we want to look at is formulas. Now, actually, using formulas in Excel is the main reason why we actually use the program in the first place. Now, what is a formula? In Excel, a formula is an arithmetic expression that does a calculation with values found in other cells. Formula is an arithmetic expression that does a calculation with values found in other cells. In Excel, formulas always start with an equal sign. In Excel, formulas always start with an equal sign. So, like we said, in Excel, formulas always start with an equal sign. So let's try and do some simple arithmetic here. Let's try to build this formula. So, building this formula, all formulas start with an equal sign. From simple to complex, we are going to see some more complex formulas as we go ahead, but let's look at this simple arithmetic. For example, I want to carry out multiplication, division, subtraction, addition. I'm assuming I want to multiply this value 100 by 5. So what I do with my equal to, I click this, so it shows me the address of that cell, that is D4. Then I put my multiplication, multiplied by, and I'll click this. That's how we build formulas. Okay, so equal to, I click cell D4 that has 100, put my multiplication symbol, and then I click cell E4 that has my other value 5, build it, and then I press enter. 200 multiplied by 5 gives me 500. Similar vein, if I want to carry out division, for example, I want to divide the value here in D5 by E5, that's 200 by 5. I do this, like we said, all formulas always start with the equal sign. Put my equal to, now click on cell D5 that contains my 200, then I put my division symbol, divided by, and I click this, E5, enter. So 200 divided by 5 gives us 40. Same thing if I want to carry out subtraction. Just doing some simple arithmetic here to show how we can build formulas. So I come here, equal to, don't forget, all begin with the equal sign. Formulas always begin with equal sign. So equal to, now click on 500, shows me the address here, D5, sorry, D6. Then I put my subtraction, by 300. Subtracting 500 from 300 gives us 200. Next up, if I want to carry out addition, say I want to add 200 to 700, 2000 to 700, what I do, come here, equal to, click on cell D7 that contains 2000, and I compute my plus sign, and I click this, E7, and then enter. So that gives us 2700. So that's how we actually work with formulas. There are other formulas also, for example average and other functions which we'll look at as we proceed. This is just a lesson to show us how we can actually work with data types, the different data types in Excel. Different data types that Excel can recognize. We talked about numbers, we talked about text entries, and then we also looked at formulas. We said numbers are numeric entries that represent a quantity or contain some decimal points. We talked about text. We said that text is any alphanumeric entry in a cell. So it can be numbers once there's a non-numeric character in that cell. Automatically, Excel recognizes it as a text. Then we also looked at formulas. We said a formula always begins with the equal sign. And we said that formulas is an expression, an arithmetic expression that does the calculation with values found in other cells. So we can see the values found in these cells were what we use to actually arrive at these answers, to multiply, to divide, to subtract, to add. So that is entering data in a cell. We'll move on to the next lesson. Thank you very much. Don't forget to engage me in the comment section. Any questions, go ahead and ask. Whatever you don't understand, you can always look into it. Click like, subscribe, share. Thank you.